What's up guys, Starving here from KLGadgetTV, and today Oppo has just launched the successor to the Oppo F7, and that is the Oppo F9. Now the Oppo F9 comes with a slight upgrade compared to its predecessor. It comes with 6GB of RAM, 64GB of storage and an improved fast charging, which Oppo has claimed can give you 2 hours of talk time with just 5 minutes of charging the phone. So with that guys, let's get on with the unboxing. And now that we have got the box open, so the first thing that we get here is, I'm going to assume that it is a back cover, and yes it is. It is a TPU case that they have provided with the phone. Pretty solid, pretty nice. Other than that, we got some documentations which I'm not really interested in the documentation. And of course the SIM tool that we have right here. Now for the more important part, here is the Oppo F9 phone. Let's get it out of its wrapping. So as you can see for yourself, the back of the phone looks really pretty. Now this is the sunrise red version, and it comes with these diamond-like cuts that we've seen in the black edition of the Oppo F7. But the difference here is, if you realize as you come down here, the color changes to this purple-like color. So it's very nice that they actually have a gradient-ish kind of effect on the back of the phone. Alright guys, now we've gotten the phone turned on. The first thing that I can tell you is the colors on the screen are actually pretty nice. They are quite vibrant, which is quite surprising for a phone of this kind of specs. Now the Oppo F7 comes with the MediaTek P60 processor, which is quite a power efficient processor, and it is almost on par with the mid-range Snapdragon processors, so you won't have to worry so much about its performance. One thing that this phone has is a notch. Now the notch is small, but nevertheless, it is still a notch. I don't really like it, but I do hope that there is an option for you to hide the notch on this phone, seeing as the notch design is pretty unique. This phone is using ColorOS 5, so that is the latest version of ColorOS. Now alongside that, it also comes with the latest version of Android, that is Android 8.1. I assume this phone will be updated to Android Pie as soon as Oppo makes it available. And the security patch is on July 5th, so let's hope they take out some updates soon to update the security of this phone. So with most phones nowadays, this phone also comes with two types of authentication, that is the fingerprint sensor on the back of the phone and of course face unlock. So let's take a look at the performance of these two authentication features. So with the first, we're going to try out the fingerprint sensor. Now I was told that the fingerprint sensor on this phone is actually pretty fast and pretty accurate. So I've already registered my finger on this phone, and let's try it out. So here I go, I'm just going to press it, and immediately I'm in the phone. So that's pretty fast, pretty accurate. I would say it's almost on par with the OnePlus 6, but let's try it one more time. Yeah, it is pretty fast. As soon as I put my finger on the sensor, I'm in the phone already. So now let's try to see how fast this phone unlocks with the face unlock. I'm gonna look at the phone, and yeah, immediately it unlocks. So let's try it out one more time. Again, the phone is locked. I'm gonna look at it, and as you can see for yourself, it is unlocked already. So the phone doesn't get you straight into the home screen, so this is good for those of you that just want to check out your notifications without unlocking the phone and sliding down on the notification bar to look at your notifications. So that's a very nice feature that they've included. Now Oppo has upgraded the cameras on the F9, where one sensor is a 16 megapixel sensor with a 1.8 aperture, while the other is a 2 megapixel sensor that measures depth. So it apparently will improve your bokeh pictures. And on the front, we have a 25 megapixel sensor with an aperture of 2.0. Alright, so I've taken a picture with Iron Man here, and the one thing I can tell you is the detail on these cameras are actually pretty impressive, because if I actually zoom into Iron Man, you can actually see the creases in the plastic. But sadly, the color reproduction is not that great because the picture is slightly dull when it comes to its colors. But nevertheless, I think if you are not so picky about the colors and you just want the details, then I think the cameras are actually pretty decent. So now let's take a look at the bokeh effect on this phone. So turning into portrait mode now, obviously I would need a subject, a human subject. So Warren! Okay, Warren's gonna stand here. Okay. Why are you still here?
Because you want me to be the subject? Okay.
Alright, so I've taken a picture of Warren using the portrait mode to test out the bokeh effect. Now, the first thing that I can tell you is over at the top of his head is being overlapped by the blur. So the camera is not able to detect the foreground and the background pretty well. not so impressive when it comes to the top part of the subject. However, on the sides towards the shoulder and the hands, it can detect the depth between the foreground and the background, so that's pretty good. So I think they do still need to work on the bokeh effect for this phone, but nevertheless, I think if the lighting is right and it can differentiate the foreground and background pretty well, then the bokeh effect will come out nice. Alright, so I've taken a selfie with the front camera, and the first thing that I can tell you is the details on this camera is pretty excellent. It can actually make out the individual strands of hair on my beard, and if you go up towards the top of my hair, you can actually see the individual strands that are sticking out of my hair. Now that is pretty impressive. Other than that, the color reproduction on the front camera is much more better than the back camera. I'm really liking the red color that it produces here, and the stickers that we have on our walls, the colors are very easy to distinguish. So we'll definitely take these cameras out for a much more in-depth test when we do the full review for this phone. Now lastly, this phone comes with a 3500 mAh battery, which can easily give you more than a days of use thanks to the MediaTek P60 processor. Now, remember I mentioned to you that this has a very different VOOC charging at the start of this video? Well, after taking a look at the specs for the charging capabilities of this phone, I realized that this phone charges at 20 watts. Now to put that into comparison, the MacBook Pro charges at 29 watts. So that's about a 9 watt difference, which is pretty impressive to have on a phone. But we'll definitely take a look at the charging capabilities of this phone in the full review. Alright guys, there you have it. That is the unboxing of the Oppo F9. Now if you are interested in picking up this phone is available right now for 1,399 ringgits. If you are a selfie lover and you have to take a selfie every single day, then I think that the front cameras on the Oppo F9 will definitely satisfy you with its detail and its color reproduction. So guys, if you like this video, do give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not, because we take out videos like this every single day. And of course guys, I will see you in the next video. The 12 megapixel sensor with a 2 megapixel sensor, and on the front, I say pickle again, right?